What is up, beautiful people? It's Wolfbrother Mythos, and welcome to Wolfbrother Hobbies. Hello, Ashley. Hello, Brother Thomas, and I'm sure hello, Greg with Ashley. I hope you all are doing well tonight. I was just sharing around, Brother Thomas, and admittedly, I am a few minutes behind because I did stop and take the time to make myself a nice, look at that frostiness on the glass of this iced coffee here. There's Mr. Sexy. You must not be watching a monitor. You must be watching a mirror, my friend. I hope you guys are doing well. I am tired. I am so excited to be back. I just got back from like a 7-day work trip in New York and New Jersey, and I have decided that the city life is not for Wolf Brother. Oh man, I loved growing up around the Charlotte area, and I like living close to the Houston area. I'm a suburbs guy. I am definitely not a city guy, and oh man, I hate driving in the major cities. But at least I'm used to the Houston driving, right? Driving around in somebody else's city. Oh man. Whew. I am not a fan of that New York driving, guys. If you live in New York, if anybody in the audience lives in New York, no shade to you. You know, everybody is comfortable with the traffic. Well, I don't know what comfortable is, but everybody gets used to it and knows how to deal with the traffic where they are, right? Dealing with somebody else's traffic can be frustrating. Evil Thought turning Logan into the black. Of course. Of course. He is, I think, the coolest and most imposing miniature without being a demon, obviously. I think he's the coolest miniature right now. That's my personal opinion, of course. And taste is subjective, but I think he's the coolest miniature right now, and I think he would make a perfect beefy black wolf for your custom Space Wolf chapter. There have been several iterations of Hellchild's Black Wolf, his Wolf Lord for his custom Space Wolves chapter, and they always look awesome. So, we have hobby stuff to talk about tonight, and we're going to start with what we've been up to, what we've been working on, and what's on our hobby desk right now. What you guys got for a poke chat? I know Greg, I was watching the the Sunday show. Guys, if you are not watching Gamers with Coffee, Ashley and Greg, I gotta say, they do it's just a fun hobby show, fun live stream. There's lots of banter, lots of, feel goods. But unlike me who, I'll wander and waffle the whole show and very seldom stay on topic. They do a great mix of answering the chat, laughing with the chat, but also staying on topic, talking about hobby stuff. It's a legit show. No wonder why they put it up as a podcast, because it is a legit show. And I got to say, when I'm working out of town, it kind of gives me a little, almost like a slice of home. It's like listening to friends talk in the background, which makes you feel like you're not far away, which I guess that is what I'm doing, right? I'm listening to my friends in Iowa talking about their gaming and their hobby, and I guess in a way it's giving me a sense of comfort when I'm out of town, because I am listening to my friends talk about some of the things I love, which is hobby and gaming. So it's a great show. Check them out Sundays at 4 o'clock Central Time, adjust for your time zone. They have rails, you don't. That's right. This show is never on the rails. Okay, hobby stuff. Okay, so you guys saw that. I finished up Bjorn. Actually, I pretty much finished Bjorn right before I went out of town for this 7-day assignment. And the only thing is that I poured my, my liquid pour water effect, and I thought it was Woodland Scenics, but it's actually Scenorama Realistic Water. Blue. I use the blue realistic water. You know, they have different kinds. They've got clear. I think they do like a swampy kind of yellowy green color. Big loves, guys. Big loves. Um, but yeah, I did a bit of the pour for Bjorn's base. I think happy freaking Friday, Mr. Fish. Wah! Good to see you, my brother. Um, so yeah, I started doing for like some of my more elite characters and special dreadnoughts and stuff like that on my old version of my Space Wolves. I've been doing the same basing scheme, but I'm dressing it up a little. I'm actually using tufts now with my rocks and snow, and I used the water effects before on like dreadnoughts and stuff like that, and some of my HQs and stuff. So I think I wanted to do that just a little more as well here in the new army. So I've decided to just really stock up. I'm really in love with this mission I'm on now to restart my Space Wolf. So I'm stocking up. I bought 2 of these realistic waters because the one from my original army is just about out. And then, on top of that, so these are the colors that I'm using for my Space Wolves, and it's from Rob's How to Paint a Space Wolf Reaver tutorial. It's where he goes over his new formula, which I'm loving, and I'm using it on my army as well. And then this is the extreme highlight and edge highlight color here, but I stocked up, so I've got 1 of each of these here. But then I ordered more, so I've got duplicates of the base color and the regular highlight, and together they make a really nice Space Wolves color that is not exactly the eggshell blue on the box art. I gotta say, it's like, so this is a more cool tone blue, but then when you get here, their version of like the icy blue gray is still blue and gray, but I feel like it's got like just a touch of green in there too, and it gives more visual interest to the Space Wolf armor than just the eggshell color. So I really like it. And so this is a Fantasy and Games by Scale 75, their range. It's Hero Blue and Amarth Blue. So, and then for the extreme highlight and edge highlight, it's the War Colors Blue 1. So, like I said, I plan on doing a whole army, so I thought I'd just go ahead and stock up on these wolf colors. And then, of course, also this week, I got in a bottle of more AK Interactive Ultra Matte Varnish, my favorite matte varnish, because that one's also, I went to seal Bjorn and noticed I was on my last few drops. So I had enough to seal Bjorn, but it was a close thing. Mr. Fish says, hello, hello. I was going to ask if it was going to be box art or not. Vibrant wolves are so fun. Not a fan of their borderline pastel colors. Yeah, so, I was doing the really vibrant blue with black for my wolves. This time I am going a lot closer to the box art, but with a twist that gives it a little more visual interest. You're going to make me quit half-assing my paint team and nail it down, aren't you? I'm a kit basher, damn it, not a painter. Mope. You got nothing to mope about, my brother. You are an amazing painter as well as kit basher. In fact, you are like the Swiss Army knife of the hobby, brother. Speaking of being a Swiss Army knife of the hobby, man, I have seen some work behind the scenes. Mr. Fish taking a little bit of a social media break, has been coming back strong. Doing some Def Coptas recently, right? Am I right? That Def Coptas? It's that little extra that makes ordinary extraordinary. True that, my brother. True that. Almost done too. Very nice. Very nice. Getting back in your groove, I see. A couple other things. I got a sprue here because while not technically the right model, still kind of WYSIWYG. So, you know, the Predator's been retired, and my old Wolves had a Predator. No, sorry, not Predator. The Razorback has been retired. And I had a twin last cannon Razorback. And I am like so in love with the last cannon Predator that my Ultramarines have. I am like, man, if I can just put some of these last cannon sponsons onto my Razorback, it may not be technically the same turret, but it'd still be WYSIWYG for a Predator last cannon Predator. And that would just be some really nice anti-tank to put in my Wolves. So just a little, this is like a little backup project for my Wolves. You know, just adding a little extra anti-tank to them. Fish is an inspiration, all of you are. And we definitely have a lot of legends in the chat that are all very inspirational. Man, Ashley has been cranking out quite a bit of painting lately. And then Greg said he just had a few more models to do and he was all caught up on his painting desk. I have no idea what that's like to be all caught up and done with all painting projects. I got to say, if Greg accomplishes that, Greg will be a unicorn in this hobby. My bootleg flying bases turned out incredible. I had a lot of fun doing little ripper swarms and realized I probably could have enjoyed doing High Fleet Behemoth. Hey, careful. Careful, that's how it starts. I painted... I started off painting just a couple of little scenery bits for guard. And then next thing you know, it was a wrecked tank that I was doing for the scenery. And next thing you know, I ended up with like a 3,500 point guard army. It's a slippery slope, I tell you. You're going to be doing little ripper swarms on the bases. And then the next thing you do know, boom, you're painting up a winged hive tyrant for to lead your army. I'm in the process of printing up more for him. Don't tell him. Aha! That's right, Ashley. Slip him a little further away from that unicorn status. Oh, another thing, also for the Wolves. So I have an impulsor that I never got around to finish painting for my Wolves. And it's like half painted, right? But it's half painted, but it's not done. So I think I'm gonna strip her and put her in the colors of the new Wolves. That's what I think I'm gonna do. And also, like, an impulsor can easily become something else. And so I found on Etsy a printer who hooked me up with just the turret. So boom, I could magnetize the impulsor, and then bam, I've got a Gladiator Lancer with that anti-tank laser cannon on top. You know, that quick magnetic conversion. It comes with a little nub, but that's okay because I've got my magnet set into. This is where I have here either the missiles or the shield dome top magnetized for my impulsor. But instead of the shield, I could put the shield dome on, boom, when I want it to be the impulsor. I'll shave off this nub here and put in another magnet, and so I can easily swap between shield dome and boop. Uh, you know, what's it called? Like, I think it's called the laser exterminator or something like that. So yeah, get some double dipping out of my new army. Dice, hello, my brother. There we go. The man. Check out. Who Took My Dice is posting again. He's got 2 new videos out this week. Check him out. He's got a life update telling you about all the project, where he's at with the different projects he left out on, and his brand new project, his Dark Tide themed Mobian project. Check out those videos. It looks very cool. And he is already in. He's like, hey, I'm going to do this project. And he had, at the time, he had one tank he did a test scheme on, and one bannerman he did a test scheme on. And then next thing you know, he's got and it's a smaller tank. It counts as a sentinel. And next thing you know, bam, he's cranked out another one, a las cannon sentinel tank, and a commander for his Mobians. So, I mean, he is just super motivated on this guard army. And as a guard fan myself, a big '07 to you, sir. A big '07 to you, sir. He's making me feel like a slacker. You're not a slacker. You're a hard-working man who hasn't had nearly enough time to hobby lately, my brother. And I think that is something many of us can relate to. So, no worries there at all. Wow, stop showing everyone up, Stephen. Oh, man. Okay, but the next thing I want to show you guys, because I have been, oh, I forgot to take a picture of the shield, not the shield, the backpack too. I didn't stop at Bjorn. Like I said, Bjorn was actually mostly done aside from letting the water effects dry. Now, the water effects are really neat, but they do take usually like, overnight to dry, sometimes longer if you do a really deep pour. Deep pours are not advised. Uh-oh, where did this backpack go? I started making progress. Don't tell me I misplaced Ragnar's backpack. I'm telling you guys, I made progress. Knowing my luck, I will find it as soon as I end the stream tonight, guys. All right, well. Wait, I think I remember. Yes, it was on the Beastie Brown. Haha! All right, I'm going to take a picture of this, and then I'll show you guys my progress, because we all know that if I try and put the model up to the camera and show you guys my progress, you guys aren't going to see anything, because I'm going to spend half the time trying to get it to focus, and then it won't focus, and then I'll be like, why did I do this? Gamesburger. Good evening. Painting Grey Hunters right now. That's awesome. I just finished Bjorn. I'm doing Ragnar now because I want him to lead my Blood Claws. And then I'm going to get cracking into the box. All right, let's take a look. We'll go over to Okay, that's not very in focus, but you'll get the idea. Pardon the potato pictures, guys. Pardon the potato pictures. Your Wolf Brothers rushing and not being super adept at camera work. Messenger. No, there's Discord, WordPad. No. Silly Mythos. There we go. Y'all didn't see nothing with me breaking the stream there for a second. Nothing. Y'all saw nothing. The camera never shows the amount of work you put into it. Right, right, right. I'm building up 10 8-bound Wolfen, 10 kit-bashed Wolfen, and 10 traditional Wolfen for my new force. Hey, he broke it. Tell Lily. Don't tell Lily. She's studying right now. Okay, so there's the backpack for Ragnar. I think that's come out really nicely. All that work just to show you guys a backpack. I like it. All right, let me swap out. I felt pretty good. Earlier, man, I did this gradient, and I didn't even break out the airbrush for this. I was trying that new makeup sponge blending to get the pink to white shift for the undercoat for the yellow for Ragnar's sword. And I was like, man, this kind of looks like a pretty cool Mace Windu style lightsaber here. Like, it's almost a shame to cover it up with yellow, but it's Ragnar Blackmane. So, I wanted him to have the iconic, big yellow double-sided Frostfang. So, so we did go with the yellow. But I was like, man, that kind of looks lightsabery there. Does that work well? Well, you tell me. This is how it turned out. This is the transition here. Now, I did have to do an extra step because it came out a little darker than I wanted. It came out more of a flamey kind of yellow at first. And so I gave it a highlight with yellow or gold yellow from Game Air is about the same color as the Imperial Fist yellow. It actually is really good. Like if you need to touch up the Imperial Fist yellow, it's a good cover there. But since that's about the same tone, I gave it a touch of gold yellow, half 50-50 gold yellow, and then Pro-Acryl golden yellow, which is a much brighter yellow. I gave it about 50-50 with those two. It gave a highlight, and then boom, it put it exactly where I want it. I guess I will have to get my makeup sponges out. Oh yeah, I'll send you a video where I got the idea from. But makeup sponge blending is really like I've seen people do some really cool things, and my first attempt with it seemed to go pretty well too. In fact, I enjoyed it so much. I had Lily pick me up a double pack of makeup sponges while she was at the store for me. Also, they make tinier ones too that are really good for hard to reach places like swords and shoulder pads and stuff like that. So I would recommend, try the beauty blenders, but also get the tinier ones too. So. And then this is the other side of the sword. I really like the way the transition came out. So I think the the makeup sponge blending worked out well. And then I think the yellow cover and then a little bit of highlight color on top. I think it all turned out nicely. I thought Ragnar was fighting a mimic in that pic. Oh yeah, this right here is my if none of you guys know, my favorite masking agent for airbrushing is just silly putty. The Miniatures Paintbrush Rob. You can find him linked down in the Friends of the Frosted Fist down below. But yeah, that was one of the hobby tips he put me onto. And I bought 2 things of Silly Putty, and I've been using it the same two containers of Silly Putty ever since. And yeah, that's been my masking agent for like all my airbrushing. And this is where I am now. I put in a few more. Come on. I put in a few more details. I did the cape. Did several steps to do the cape. That is a mixture of airbrushing and 2 kinds of washes and just a touch of dry brush. It doesn't stick. No, the Silly Putty doesn't stick at all. That's what's better about it than say masking putty or anything like that. The Silly Putty doesn't stick to the paint, doesn't pull up the paint or anything. So yeah, this is where we are so far. Now, as I was recording it, I realized I got a little bit of the Sword's yellow on his hip plate, but that'll be easily fixed with a little bit of touch up. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how he's coming along so far. So I've got just off camera here the lovely Lady Lily. Everybody say hi.
Hi.
Thank you, everyone. All right, that and Bjorn. That's my hobby update this week. If you haven't seen my Bjorn, please check out the Wolfbrother Hobbies YouTube shorts. And yeah, that's the completed one. I'm really, really pleased because, on all the artworks, Bjorn has like his frost claw. Unlike the others, most frost claws are like all glowing blue, which is what most people paint. But Bjorn's has always been different. It's always had a touch of green. He broke it again. I just got sidetracked while I was talking and forgot to push the button. But actually, you know what? I shouldn't get in trouble for showing my own video, so We will mute it though. Can I mute it? Mute site. There we go. All right. Articles and art. All right. Oh yeah, I forgot. I can't. Wait, is that working? Okay. So apparently the software will let me capture YouTube Shorts, but not YouTube videos. That's interesting. So anyways, what I was saying earlier is that all the YouTube tutorials I looked up, most people just paint the blue glow on the claws, but the artwork on the boxes has kind of a green icy claw. And so I had to kind of figure that out on my own. And I missed that the old GW site actually had recommended paints if you wanted to follow the box art. But anyway, so I just ended up making up my own colors for this, and so I wanted a lot of contrast, so I started out towards the bottom where it's black with a dark, well, I covered the whole thing in a darker Pro-Acryl jade color. You can see it's kind of a darker blue-green, right? And then I highlighted up to turquoise, fading those colors together. And then at the very, very tips, I mixed this turquoise color 50-50 with white and did the tips. And then like like the very end of the tips, and then to get the very tips, I mixed it like mostly white with just a little bit of turquoise in at the very. So I wanted to have it the really nice and bright at the very tips to give it kind of a sharp feel. And so, anyways, yeah. So that's my Bjorn, and like a lot of it is very similar to others. Again, major shout out to TMP Rob, of course, link down, Friends of the Frosted Fist, because his recipe is his Space Wolf recipe that I'm borrowing here for inspiration, and his pelts. The recipe for his pelts I took from his Bjorn video as well. So lots of inspiration came from Brother Rob here. A couple of things different. A lot of people either do solid gold on the designs on the sarcophagus, or they'll paint it up as a painted mural. And I still wanted to be kind of statuesque, so I didn't want to do the painted mural, but I didn't want it all to be one solid color. So the serpent or the great worm that Bjorn is fighting in the mural, I did silver, and I did his outline, in his human form as gold. Ice is greenish in space, right? Space ice. If it's an ice claw, wouldn't it be blue and white? Most of the time it is, but for Bjorn's, I guess because his is a special relic, they wanted to make his slightly different or whatever, and so it's his frost claw is for it's got like a green tint to it for whatever reason. So, anyways. Boop. So, that is my hobby all week. That's what I managed to get accomplished. I was thinking, man, 7 days in the hotel room, I'm going to get so much hobbying done while I was up there. And I always take a little something to paint with me on the road. I got nothing done this week. I was hustling this week, and I was tired and sore and didn't get anything painted while I was out. I meet those going outside the box. Rock on. Thank you so much, brother. Speaking of boxes, okay. Previously, when we discussed the Space Wolf release, we talked about the title of it was I Love and Hate the New Space Wolves Codex. And there was a lot of things I love about the Codex. But what we talked about that I hated was how much of my army was lost. And I felt like I lost a good 70 or 75% of my army. And more importantly, the essential play style that I had for my army at the time. And it just felt like a huge loss. And I was kind of, I was a little bummed out, but I was bummed out about the loss, but optimistic going forward and motivated to continue and get back to the Space Wolves that I love so much. The Space Wolves, my first army, what drew me into this hobby, and they'll always be my first love in this hobby. And I mean, I even got them stamped on my skin, right? And I was excited. It was like, there was a little bit of sadness, but excitement to go forward and rebuild. Especially, I think this year will mark a special anniversary. I think my 10th year in this hobby, and so it's a great time to come back and revisit. So, like one of the little YouTube shorts I'm going to put up next week is like looking at my very first Dreadnought and my most recent Dreadnought, which is Bjorn, side by side, and it's going to be quite different. But anyways, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone in the community, because in that spirit of wanting to rebuild, so many of you, has it been 10 years? I know, right? I didn't realize it either until one of those Facebook memories popped up, and it was like, earlier this year, it was like 9 years ago today, and I was like, it was me assembling my first models, which was the Space Wolves box set. And I'm like, which means, my friends, Thomas Archer. We've been friends for damn near a decade now. Isn't that crazy? So, but a huge amount of support from the community when I said I was losing my first and favorite army and I wanted to rebuild it. First person that jumped on that was Brother Thomas. Said, hey man, I'm getting multiple copies of the boxes. Do you want any duplicates of the characters? I don't use decals. Do you want decals? Brother Archer hit me up a few days ago and said, hey man, I can get you bits, I can get you, I can get you some things to print to help supplement your wolves. And I was like, that's awesome. And a couple people, including Brother Thomas, Brother Richard, said, hey man, Great Tide Studios, you could use some bits to help rebuild. Just so many great people, help lifting me up for rebuilding. And then I got a package from Brother Rob over at the TMP with the message that said, let's rebuild together. Holy crap. This is amazing. All of you are amazing. The amount of support that all of you had for me saying that I'm not going to be beat down by this. I'm not going to be salty and negative. I'm going to rebuild. And all of you just have all... I can't even form words right now. You guys have been amazing just wanting to help me rebuild, and I appreciate all of you so much. So thank you, everyone who offered assistance, and also thank you so much, Brother Rob from the Miniatures Paintbrush, TMP Rob, linked down in the Friends of the Frosted Fist below. In fact, not even just linked down there. Let me pull up his channel. Least I can do is give the man a proper plug, right? But thank all of you so much, because I am astounded and excited to build anew, and you guys are all here for it, and you're amazing. Gotta love the way he starts every video. Welcome to the Miniatures Paintbrush, and today what we're gonna do, speaking of which, his recent video is playing the sequel to Reign in Hell called Reign in Iron with his lovely wife. So check out that battle report. But and he, in that battle report, he said he's going to be focusing on his wolves soon. So I've got my wolves. He's got his wolves. And so we're going to be restarting this journey, building up our wolves together. Brother Rob also has a massive Firstborn Space Wolves army. And I think he had intentionally been putting off doing the Primera side of his army for a while. And now that the Firstborn is being retired, side of Space Wolves is being retired, it's a great time for him as well to pick up and restart his army. Bo Paints Minis, welcome to the chat. That is awesome. I'm so grateful and so lucky to all of my community. We just shared what we was doing. Well, you guys are amazing. I agree, Archer. I can't believe it's been 10 years too. It has flown by. Sad trombone. Sad trombone, but with a note of hope, because okay, we're losing bits of our army. They're still going to look nice on the shelf, and we are going to rebuild, and we're going to push forward. So, no more Firstborn. It's true. That's true. I think it's so little Firstborn right now. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. We have one named Firstborn. Man, why am I the Wolf Priest? Why am I blanking out? Ulrich the Slayer, Jesus. Ulrich the Slayer, some Thunder Wolves. It's very few Firstborn models left. Grey Knights, yeah, I think that was really surprising. Like they just need to go ahead and put them all through the Rubicon. I know lore wise, that's not a popular opinion, but yeah, I think they just need to go ahead and put all the Grey Knights through the Rubicon. Now, some people think they're going to do like with what's the name of the Castellan Crow, where they're just going to upscale him without Primaris, without the Rubicon. But I wonder what the explanation is going to be for that. That'll be interesting. All right, so we have a box. Game plan is model-wise, make them bigger. Yes, I just don't know if they're going to explain why everybody else had to go through the Rubicon to make them bigger. I mean, I don't know. It could be psychic shenanigans or something. I don't know. So, we've got Bjorn. We're going to paint up Ragnar. And Ragnar is going to lead 20 Blood Claws, which I think is going to be fun. And even as they take some casualties moving up the field, you know, Ragnar's going to be a blender when he gets into combat anyways. Collaboration mythos, you know you want to. Hell yeah. What's the collaboration? But yeah, Hellworks, you know I'll work with you any day. I think I want to put my Rune Priest with my Head Takers and try and make him a big brick of 6 and give him all the +1 to wound and have the Rune Priest keep bringing back more. If as people go down. And then the battle leader, I want to put a Thunder Hammer on him and put him with Wolfen and have a big blob of 10 Wolfen. I keep going back and forth, but I think I want a big blob of 10 Wolfen with Thunder Hammers with the battle leader. And I think that'll be fun too, and give him the Wolf Touched enhancement. Oh, I'm so excited, and I'm so excited to play Saga of the Beast Slayer. And of course, even though they're my firstborns and they're going to stay in my firstborn colors, they won't be part of the new color scheme. But we're going to throw some Thunderwolves in there too, because that's what brought me to the army. That'll have to be decided between me, you, and Rob. Well, I'm down for it, brother. Whatever it is. So I'm really looking forward to this. And then, of course, I need to find out what time I'm supposed to meet Brother Rob tomorrow. But I have been saving. I've got my little $35 check from doing jury duty earlier this year, and I've been holding on to that because that's going to be like my $35 coupon for Logan Grimnar tomorrow, so I can get Logan Grimnar half off. That's my plan. Even though I have a Logan Grimnar, that new model is just so cool. Wolf Touch Priest, 60 Blood Claws, 30 Wolfen, Saga the Beast Slayer. You gonna put that Mastodon in there too? So before, Hellworks had this strategy he used to use called the Wolfen Bomb, where he'd put a Mastodon on the field, load it up with 30 Wolfen, and just drive it past the Drive it past the lead objective and park like the ass end on the middle objective, and just send the Wolfenbomb out to conquer his foes. Apparently, that used to just wreck his opponents, which it's Wolfen. Wolfen are cool. 35 is a lot of money, sir. Please spend it wisely. But see, being that it was jury duty money, I look at it as not money. I look at it as not real money. It's my discount. It's my discount for Logan Grimnar. Especially since, I don't know how it is where you are, but you get one coffee ticket for the entire time you're there for jury duty. And one cup of coffee in that room of governmental silence is just not enough. A boredom discount? Exactly. Exactly. That wasn't hard earned money, that was just money earned through boredom. Oh, I'm so excited. I haven't I haven't even I haven't even cut the seals off of this yet, boys. Look at that. It's still taped up. We're breaking the seal right now. This is not an unboxing, by the way. Lots of people have done better and more professional unboxings. This is just a man talking nonsense with his friends while he geeks out and is excited over the new Space Wolves. So, I know a few of us have said that we want to start nickeling and diming some of the sets once the boxes come out and once some of the sets start going up on like eBay and stuff like that. Has anyone, well, actually I think Brother Thomas got a couple of boxes, so he didn't need a nickel and dime. Has anybody else tried their hand at a little eBay hunting lately? X-Gear Commander, good to see you, my friend. Oh, that's wrong, sir. 1 cup. Our tax dollars should have them bringing your coffee and donuts on a cart, like on an airplane, every 30 minutes for your service. Exactly. Exactly. Just in time. I just got on. Man, how has your weekend started, my friend? I hope you've had a good day, and I hope you continue to have a great weekend, my friend. I imagine you're relaxing with a delicious cigar. This is the inner box. Love that wolf skull logo for the inner box. Ooh, the goodies. This is our Wolf Priest and our battle leader. And I see some wolves here, so these must be the head takers. I see lots of chain swords here. And while I am so excited for all this sprue goodness, it's not what I'm here for right this moment. I am fiending to get my hands on this special edition codex. Oh man, that is nice. I really like that the cover has the High King of Fenris, and it's got that. I love the little like stretchy bookmark thing, book binding. It's a really nice cover. Assembly guide. data cards, High King on the front, and the Young King on the back. Oh, this is so cool. You guys will give me 1 second while I put all of these sprues away. Let's see. 13-hour shift tomorrow. Oh, that's a long day. Yeah, you definitely should get your relaxing in now, my friend. Oh, lots of sprues. Take a second to enjoy that fresh sprue smell. Exactly. Exactly. Just like new car is its own luxury scent, new sprues also a luxury scent. And they cost about the same, you know. Ah, and the special edition codex itself with its gilded cover. And I got my code here so I can plug it into the app. Tomorrow is, for the time of recording, tomorrow is the day that the codex proper goes on sale. So on release day, I'll be able to plug this in, plug in this code and start using it on the app as well, which will be cool. So, being that I'm doing an army, sniff some paint, sniff plastic, no apologies. But not the plastic glue. Apparently there's people watching that. I didn't realize it went on sale on my birthday. Hey, it's a sign, my friend, to pick back up that Wolf Spear project. Exactly, exactly. Great minds think alike, brother. Not like I would do it, but I could take maybe 30 Wolfen with shields and 30 without. Troubled mind is curious. Oh man, taking 60 Wolfen so you could have 30 anti-infantry and 30 with hammer and shields. That would be cool. Also, happy birthday, Archer. Everybody wish Archer a happy birthday in the chat. I'm done with cigars for today. Been a long day, so I stopped on one cigar. That makes sense. That makes sense. Brother, whatever you need to do to get your relax on. Happy freaking birthday. That's right. It's time to begin that wolf spear anew, brother. One collaboration I'm thinking about, and I'm not sure what the rules are or how to go about it or how I would even record somebody else's video to retry it. But since I don't want to do a tutorial on how I paint Space Wolves, since I'm stealing somebody else's recipe, so I wonder what, because you know some people do React video, right? Like I tried painting in Bob Ross's style or whatever. I wonder if I could do a React video on painting like another mini-tuber. What do you guys think about that? Like a tutorial, but not a tutorial, just a, I don't know, a video of me following somebody else's recipe. I think that might be an interesting collaboration video. I'll have to reach out, see what possibility of that Of course, just taking bits and pieces so that way I could refer people back to the original video. Man, I need to take a drive out that way so I can join you guys for lunch. It's been too long, guys. It's been too long. So that is the big news tonight, guys. That is just absolutely mind blown. And that's one of the reasons why I've been hustling, trying to, and still, I say hustling, like I wanted to try and get these Space Wolves painted quickly. Uh, but like I want to be able to put out minis, but I want to be able to do a good job. I lifted techniques from Vince V and from Jay from Eons of Battle, but not at their level. I shout them out, but don't link directly. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, I totally get that. In fact, while I'm here, Bo Paints Minis. Boom. 117 subscribers. And if any of our friends here would like to check him out, maybe drop him a little sub. There he is in the chat there. He's got some videos on his Death Guard, Poxwalkers. I'll be checking out your video selection sometime this weekend, my friend. Why be a blip when you can be a supernova? Just be you. Hell yeah. That's what we do around here. We share around, help build each other up. Heck, most of the guys here in the chat are friends that I have just from chatting in their comments section too. Gamers with Coffee, Mr. Fish, the misadventures of Mr. Fish. Also, let's see, Gamesburger was here earlier. $40K and related things. They were here in the chat earlier, and we'll be checking them out this weekend as well. I see some Black Templars. Painting projects. I see some Gene Stealers. Death Watch. Cool. All right, making a couple new friends tonight. All right, guys, so here we are. We have made it to 10 o'clock. I am, like I said, my project number 1 for the box set is to put Ragnar with 20 Blood Claws. What are your plans for this week, hobby-wise? Oh, also hobby-wise, hobby adjacent, I got the new Arbites Brother Roxas, yo, good to see you, my friend. I got the new Arbites class for Dark Tide, and I've been playing some with Brother Freak. Last night we purged some heretics. I got my arbitrator up to level 10. The arbitrator's such a cool class. So before the zealot was my favorite class, but I think the arbitrator is now my favorite class. It feels so Judge Dredd. It's just, it's so cool. But I got the premium DLC, so I'm Judge Dredd with the cape now. It's really cool though. For some reason, I don't like the combat shotgun when I'm playing as the veteran, the guardsman veteran. But the Arbites shotgun is so much cooler. It actually has good spread to be able to make it anti-horde, but at the same time still does some solid damage. If you get all of the pellets concentrated, it still has good damage to take out like mutants and stuff like that. The arbitrator is so good. And then the cyber canine, oh, it's so cool. What? No blood angels? No blood angels as of yet. I do have. So before the restart of my wolves this year, came about. The blood angels were on the plan for this year, but now that I need to restart my whole wolf army, they're being pushed to the back plate. They might be back next year. They feel like Judge Dredd's shocked Pikachu face. I wonder where James stole that idea from. It's a mystery. We'll never know. It feels good though. It really does. And I'm going to lose some viewers for this, but unpopular opinion, I like the Stallone Judge Dredd. Granted, I know it's very different from the source material. I like it. I like cheesy, action movies, and I like Stallone. And taking it for what it is, not what it's supposed to be, I like it. It is a good kind of cheese to me. Now the newer Judge Dredd movie, Roxas, it's just called Dredd, right? But yeah, that one is a more accurate depiction of Judge Dredd and the whole grimdark vibe. Yeah, Dredd, much better Judge Dredd movie, but I do like the Stallone one. If I do Blood Angels, I want it to be Flesh Eaters. Flesh Eaters or Flesh Terrors? The Stallone Dredd was okay, it just couldn't decide what it was trying to be. Exactly. Yeah, like Stallone one is pretty iconic. Exactly. I like it. Also, that's cool. Most people tear into me when I say I like the Stallone one. The story isn't as close, but the vibes are on point. There we go. Also, I mean, how iconic is the "I didn't break the law, I am the law"? Such a good line. Such a good line. So, yes. So I am on a Dark Tide kick right now. I will probably continue to be on a Dark Tide kick. Flesh Eaters are from fourth edition. That's cool. I've never heard of them before. So yeah, my new favorite class, guys. It's like, sorry, Zealot, you got to move to the side. It's funny because at first I thought the veteran was going to be my favorite. Like, oh, being a guardsman, that's going to be awesome. But of course, my space wolf, love for close combat would take over, and Zealot would become my favorite. And now it's the Arbiter. So that has been super cool. and I will definitely be doing some more dark tiding this weekend. Been playing Space Marine 2 a good bit since. I like Stallone more in Demolition Man. Yes, Demolition Man also very good. Also very good. Oh, just again, classic Stallone doing Stallone stuff. Uh, Carl Urban comes across as one of us. The Stallone battle bot was on point to the books. The battle droids, the battle bot's so cool. Uh, Playing Space Marine 2 a good bit since they put out the newest update a month or two ago. I need to get back on that. I need to do some more Space Marine 2 this weekend. You can tell Carl Urban is a Dread fan. Carl Urban's so cool. I like him. He does great with role stuff like that too. And I think kind of like Henry, it comes from him also being a nerd, you know? Our Lord and Savior Henry Cavill. All right. So, whether or not I finish Ragnar, my aim is to finish Ragnar by next weekend and finish building 10 Blood Claws by the time I see you guys next Friday night. Okay? I'm setting myself little goals like this and telling you as a motivation, accountability thing. And so that's my aim, but whether or not I finish Ragnar, which I feel like I will, but you know how character models can be. Sometimes you can kind of go back and forth on it. Friendly neighborhood Inquisitor, good to see you. Did I miss the stream? I was in the middle of closing out, my friend. Still waiting for old Hank to play Captain Britain in the MCU. Captain Britain. Oh, man. That would be cool. Good to catch you, Dave. Dave Dog. Question, is 10th edition Space Wolf Codex only available in the big miniatures box? This is a perfect time to ask. In the morning is when it goes on sale, on general sale, outside of the box. So the box version's been out for 2 weeks, and this is the weekend that they're doing pre-orders for the codex itself. It's all good, my friend. It's all good. Hope you've been well. I saw your lovely missus doing some streaming earlier. Unfortunately, I was in back-to-back meetings earlier, so I couldn't get on. But yeah, I saw that the streaming was going on. That was cool. Always enjoy seeing the DBD streams. If you are in our Discord, Friendly Neighborhood Inquisitor is a frequently chatting member there, and we have a section where you can share content. Usually you can share your content. You know, if you're a content creator, you can share content that inspires you. And also, the Inquisitor there shares the streams of Dead by Daylight that his better half does. Just making an effort to stream more and for longer. Very nice. Putting in that Twitch work. That's cool. So, going to be procuring yourself a copy of the new codex, Dave, my friend. It's a really good codex. Aside from the things that, of course, as we all know, eventually the firstborn stuff would get legends at some point. But aside from the things that have been removed, it's a really good codex. And it really, to me, harkens back to like 8th edition when, the melee units could be a viable threat to things like monsters and vehicles. It's harder to do in the current edition, but I think this Wolf Codex brings back some of that power, which I think is really cool. All right, it is 10 o'clock, fam. I want to say thank you so much again for everyone who reached out, asking to help me restart my Space Wolves army. 10 years later, no less. This is a great time. They say you should never compare yourself to another painter, but always compare yourself to the work that you did. Oh my God, it's the man himself, the miniatures paintbrush. Oh, I was talking about you earlier, my ultra generous friend. How are you doing, my brother? But yes, 10 years later, no less. It's like a perfect time. It's like a sign of starting over. And actually, that TMP is always got your sixth. Thank you so much, my brother. TMP Rob is one of the ones who always says, you should compare yourself to other people's work. You should compare yourself to what you painted before. And painting this army, rebuilding the army 10 years later, is a great time to compare myself to the work that was my first army and compare how far I've come. So, just like in archery, you're only in competition against yourself. That's really well said, X-Gear Commander. I opened her up live on stream, Brother Rob, and I was just checking out all the codex and beautiful bits. Oh, so amazing! Thank you so much. Yes, my brother. Yes, we are definitely brothers, and thank you so much. I'm definitely excited to do some side by sides. I still have some of my firstborn stuff. I've packed it up in a box, but I haven't put it away yet. And having just finished my Bjorn, I want to put them together side by side, with my first dreadnought from my first army 10 years ago, and just kind of show a comparison, of where I started in the hobby and where I am now. My first dreadnought and my most recent dreadnought. And I want to do the same thing when I get to my blood claws, my gray hunters, that kind of thing. So I'm super excited. Collaboration is calling, TMP. Oh, after I sign off, Rob, my brother, I want to pick your brain about something, so I will be hitting you up here in just a minute if you have time. So, anyways, like I said, making progress on Ragnar. I want to finish Ragnar, and even if I don't, at the very least, I want to have 10 of his 20 blood claws built up by the next time I see you guys next Friday night. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you guys liked tonight's episode, please make sure that you grab up an axe and smash that like button in the name of the Emperor. Drop some comments down below, especially if you want to respond to any of these ridiculous conversations. And if you guys are not yet subscribed to any of the Friends of the Frost and Fist down in the links below, and if you're not subscribed to this guy, then we'd all love to have you as part of the pack here on Wolfbrother Hobbies. Until next time, stay frosty.